Hello, everybody. This is Morgan with A.W.E. And today we're going to be creating something called a mind map. A mind map is a really great tool for us to organize our ideas around a story. In the next few weeks, we're going to take this story and we're going to make it into an animation. You'll see on my screen here that I already have a completed mind map that includes my characters, setting, plot, conflict, and resolution. For this example, I actually used my friend Avi's Ollie the Octopus, a character that he made in his videos. So make sure to check out his pixel videos from the first 2 weeks. All right, let's get started. You'll see on the left-hand side my plus sign that says new. We're going to make a new document. Click on blank and hit the word create. The first tool that I want to introduce to us today is the text tool. This will add words to our screen. You'll see on the left-hand side of my toolbar this large T. If I click on the T, I will be able to include text. I also want to show us that if I click on where it says Chewy, that's actually a type of font. If I click on that word, I will see a whole bunch of different examples of different kinds of font that I can use. I'm just going to click our default Chewy and we'll get started. In the middle of my mind map, I want to include a title. It's okay if you don't know what your title is going to be for your animation. I'm going to use my characters from the first 2 weeks. So my alien that I created using sketchpad.io. Right now, I'm just going to call it Aliens with an exclamation point. I will probably go back and change that title later. To organize my mind map, I'm actually going to include my text inside of a shape. So if I go back to my star and click on my star, I can include any kind of shape that I would like. For this example, I'm going to include an ellipse. I'm going to make sure that my fill option is kept blank. So I'm going to go over to my color and click white, and my outline, I can keep that black. And I'm going to go ahead and create an ellipse or an oval that's going to encase my word. All right, now that we have our title, the first thing that we're going to want to include in our story are our characters. Coming out from this ellipse, I want to organize my ideas. So I'm going to go over to my toolbar here. Underneath our calligraphy option, remember we have all of those different drawing tools that we can use. I can also include an arrow. I can go ahead and fill my arrow with a color if I would like. I can keep my outline black, or you can change it to whatever color you would like. And I'm going to have an arrow coming off of the title. At this time, since I have my arrow option available, I'm going to include 4 more arrows for the different categories that we want to include in our mind map. Remember, we're going to include our character, our setting, our plot, conflict, and resolution. So I'm going to go ahead and put those arrows in. I can use my select tool later if I want to make those arrows smaller or larger. Okay. Once again, I'm going to go over to my text option and I'm going to include the word characters. You'll see that my text actually went off of the page, so I'm going to want to make that a little bit smaller just by dragging one of my corners. And if I use my select option, I can actually move that back and I'll see that I have a spelling error. I can go ahead, double click, and I can correct that error. Once again, I'm going to include an ellipse to encase my word of characters. At this time, since I have my ellipse option open, I'm going to go ahead and include 4 more ellipses for the different words and categories that I need to include. Okay, so I know that one of my characters is going to be my alien that I created. I have that alien saved onto my desktop. Remember, if we go over to our clip art option, click the word download your own image, I can bring my alien back. So I'm going to go ahead and find my alien. Remember, you may have saved it to your downloads folder or a different area, and I'm going to open my alien. Here he is on the screen. Now I'm going to move him over by my characters because I know I want to include him in my story. I'm going to make him a little bit smaller so that he fits on the page here. Okay. Now I want to include more characters, but I'm not sure exactly which characters I want to include. If I go back to my clip art option, I can click on where my alien is here, but I'm actually going to find some clip art inside of our sketch pack. So I'm going to see if we have some more aliens that I can include. Ooh, here's an interesting looking alien. So if I click on him, ooh, he is very large. So we need to make him a little bit smaller here just by dragging those arrows and grabbing him and moving him over. So maybe I'm going to have these two characters in my story. Okay. Our next category for our mind map is our setting. We're going to include that text here on the bottom. And I'm going to make that text a little bit smaller just by dragging my arrow here. And I need to move that text because it's actually hidden right now behind myself. Here we go, our setting. We already came up with a setting or a background. So once again, I'm going to go back to my clip art. I'm going to load my own image. And I'm going to find the background that I created. And if you remember from my previous video, that was the image of the moon. Once again, my image is quite large, so I need to scale that down just by dragging my arrow. So we know that our setting is going to be the moon. And if I wanted to, I can also go ahead and I can type that information here, the moon. I'm going to make that smaller again just so we can fit that in this area. Using my select tool, I can move those words as well. Remember, if you have a spelling error, you can double click and you can delete. Okay, so we have our setting as the moon. The next category that we're going to want to think of for our story and later for our animation would be our plot. What's happening in our story? So I have my two characters. I have the setting as the moon. Maybe I'm going to have those two characters. Oh, maybe they're going to go on a spaceship and they're going to visit another planet. So let's see if my clip art option has a spaceship. Let's find out. Let's see here. Yes, we have a spaceship. So I'm going to click on that option and I'm going to put that in as well. I can also make some notes too, once again using my text option. So my plot is going to be travel to another planet. Now, if all of my words don't fit on one line, I can use the center arrow to make it a little bit larger. And then I can scale down the size by dragging one of my corner arrows as well. There, that will fit on my page. So we have our characters, our setting, the plot. Next, we have the conflict. What happened in our story? Is there a problem? Is there something that our characters need to overcome? So as I'm brainstorming here, maybe our spaceship goes to the wrong planet. So once again, I'm going to include my spaceship icon. I already have my rocket here. I'm going to click on that again. And I'm going to write myself a little note using my text option again. Rocket goes to wrong planet. I'm going to include that under my conflict here. So once again, we have our characters, my two aliens here. They start out on the moon as they're setting. The plot, or what happens in the story, is that they travel to another planet. The conflict is that the rocket goes to the wrong planet. So the last piece of information that we need to include in our story or animation would be the resolution. How do they solve that problem? For my brainstorming idea here for my mind map is for you to tell me what the resolution is going to be. I'm going to be on Google Meets on Tuesdays at 10 a.m. If you go to the Artists Working in Education website, you'll be able to find a link there that'll link you to my live video chats, where I can show you a more in-depth look at how to use Sketchpad. I would love to hear your ideas there. Now that we have completed our mind map, we're going to want to save this information so that in the next couple of weeks we can refer back to our mind map and we can use this information so that we know what our animation will look like. Okay, we're going to want to go over to the left-hand side again to my floppy disk icon and click the word export. Click on the word save. That will pop up a screen to letting you know what you're saving as. Once again, we're going to save this as an image file, a JPEG, and I will download that information. It will probably save to your downloads folder, so make sure you go into your downloads folder and rename this as Mind Map so that you can find this information. All right, I hope you enjoyed the video today, and I will see you in our next video. Bye-bye.